Welcome, roller skating fans, to the inaugural episode of the Roller Planet podcast. I'm your host, producer Logan. I'm thrilled to kickstart this journey with you into the exciting world of roller sports. For those new to Roller Planet, we are your digital hub for all things roller, and our sports focus centers around four thrilling skating disciplines: inline hockey, rink hockey, artistic skating, and speed skating. Well, here at Roller Planet, we're not just all about the games and the sports. We're also about the passion, the dedication, and the sheer thrill of gliding down the rink or cruising down the pavement. Each week, we are here to celebrate the athletes, the coaches, and the unsung heroes that make the roller sports an adrenaline-fueled adventure. And we're going to explore everything from the latest news in the sports world and perhaps take a look at some game highlights, some cool shots, some social media. And we'll also be answering your questions from viewers around the world. That's not all, folks. Roller Planet isn't just about the action on the rink. It's about a global skating community. And if you subscribe to our YouTube page, you're going to find everything from instructional guides to help you perfect your technique to insider profiles for the biggest names in the roller world. We've got something for every skater, from novice to pro. So whether you're the speed demon tearing down the track or the graceful artist painting the pavement with your moves, the Roller Planet podcast is your one-stop shop for all things roller sports. Tune in every week as we bring you the latest news, insights, and behind-the-scenes stories from the heart of the roller universe. Get ready to roll with us, because the adventure starts right now. So first of all, we're going to welcome CJ Yoder. He's the director of Inline Hockey here at Skate City, Colorado, and he's also the captain of Colorado Springs Thunder. There's a professional inline hockey team here in the Pikes Peak region. And then over on the behind the scenes over there, we've got our director, Chris Johnson. Chris, say hi to the folks real quick.
How's it going, everybody?
There
Excited
he is.
To be here.
And we're here today to talk with CJ. So CJ, for folks that don't know, go ahead and tell us where you're from and places you've played and how your roller skating adventure got started.
Oh boy, okay. Originally from right around Hershey, Pennsylvania. Grew up in a roller skating rink, kind of like the Skate Cities here in Colorado. So kind of know where those kids are coming from when they're growing up in that environment. I was very lucky to have that opportunity my entire youth. So we owned a roller skating rink in the basement of a mall at one point, and then we had our own family, which we still do, in Middletown, Pennsylvania. So that's where I grew up. Played a little hockey all over the place. I was obviously lucky enough to be able to play with Team USA for several years, and the Tour Mudcats, with all the big tournaments and whatnot. Now the Colorado Springs Thunder here. It's great. I'm grateful, for the opportunities I've had, for sure.
So getting some more details about your history, talk about some of the places that you've played. I know you played abroad for a little bit. And we have this amazing jersey we've got in front of you, one of your former tarps here. Tell us a little bit about that jersey there, the team that you played with, and maybe some of the more prominent athletes, some famous names that you've shared a rink with.
Oh, well, the one in front of me here is from the Asiago Vipers, and Brian Yingling, a good friend of mine, and I had we went for about 4 years to the European Championships. Guys now have the opportunity to go and play for 6 months and make a few dollars and live the life. When we went over there, we just went over there for a weekend, like 3-4 days. But they took really good care of us. Fabio Forte, tremendous guy from Italy, was the owner, and he'd have us over at least once a year, if not twice a year, depending on a qualifier or whatever. So we won a couple European championships together with a really good group of guys over there. And so that's that jersey there. And then, obviously with Team USA, I've been lucky enough to play with numerous, obviously high-end inline players, but also some Patrick Maroon, who everybody knows now, with 3 Stanley Cups, 3 rings. I got to play 1 year with him, and there were a couple others that played in the NHL, and I had an opportunity to sit in the locker room with them. So, all those guys are tremendous, and then obviously my brother I got to play with for years, and Brian Ying, really good friends, and I'm sure I'm missing a ton, but Greg Thompson, who I could just go on and on and on about guys that I had the opportunity to play with. So,
well, that's why we're here, for you to go on and on and on about your history.
I know you are.
Yeah. All right, well, so now here in Colorado Springs, you run the Colorado Springs Thunder, and that's part of the PIHA League. That's the Professional Inline Hockey Association. So tell me a little bit about the league and about the team and what that's like now running that or being a major part of that, a leader in that league here on the Front Range?
Sure. Well, it started in the East Coast in 2002. I think we're in our 23rd year. Does that sound about right? That math? I'm just a hockey coach, Logan, so I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't do math. But I think it's our 23rd year. We came out here in 2006, I believe. So, and the Thunder was an inaugural team organization. We've been going ever since. And we have 2 championships, PIA championships, while we've been out here. I think that was like 2009 and 2010, something like that. And again, some of the guys that have come through with this organization has been unreal also. So play with a couple guys that played at the Air Force Academy, some really, really good guys, and they're doing bigger and better things than playing hockey here, with us. But and Dakota Evelyn, who played at CC for a little bit, and just some of the guys that have come through. Again, just playing on that team has been really, really good. But we try to do there with the Colorado Springs Thunder. My father and my brother actually started the league in 2002. We really came up with it as something for our kids to look up to, like a carrot for an inline kid, because we do lose a lot of inline kids to ice hockey because they see they can play Division I hockey and and get a degree of some sorts. And we have a little bit of that in inline, but not a ton. So not that we're making a ton of money. There's a little bit of money at the end if you'd win the Professional Inline Hockey Association, our Founders Cup is what we call it. So there's a little bit of money there at the end, but there's nothing to live off of. As a matter of fact, a lot of the guys still pay to play a little bit. But we try to make it as professional as possible so that those kids that love this game that we all love, inline hockey, they have something to look up to. Like, that's what I want to do when I get older. So that's really why we even started the league in 2002. So it's definitely changed over the years and what we envisioned. But here with the Thunder, we really try to do the best we can to produce that carrot for those kids that grow up when they're 5-6 years old skating in a roller skating rink but playing hockey, and this gives them an opportunity to do something.
Well, you've certainly led the way when it comes to showing kids the path that they can take going on with this sport. And coming up a little bit later in this episode, we're actually going to talk to the founder of PIA, your dad, Charles Yoder Sr., and we're going to find out a little bit more from him about what it was like to start this organization, see where it's gone over the years, and look down the road to the future in just a little bit. But talking about growing the game, you are now the director of inline hockey at Skate City, Colorado, and so you have your hand. You're a leader. You're a role model for lots of kids, young,
That's
right
scary.
up into
That's scary.
And you've seen several come through, as you said, make it into their own, taking their own paths in the hockey world. Talk a little bit about the program itself, and then want to hear your thoughts on what it's like, to be the role model for so many kids.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a little scary, but I appreciate that, and I don't take it lightly. So thank you for even bringing it up. But yeah, I mean, just our program here at Skate City and Skate City Sports, we started from learn to plays on a Sunday morning for 45 minutes with some kids that just got a brand new pair of skates and want to try it, put a stick in their hand. Maybe they don't even have gloves, who knows? And they run through some cones and shoot a puck and score a goal, and hopefully they had a great time and they come back the next week. So we start the grassroots. We provide all the equipment at all of the different facilities that we are a part of. They're under our umbrella. And then you go up from there. So we obviously have our youth rec leagues and our adult rec leagues at 5 different locations here in Colorado. And then go from there, and we have a club program where kids can come. And I don't know that there's too many facilities in the country that host a inline hockey tournament each weekend, and we do that, whether it's a 10 and under division or a 14 under division or whatever it may be. And that would be our club program. So now the kids have that opportunity also to look up to. So they go from basically learn to play into the rec leagues, which we can get anybody involved there. And then as they get a little bit better, they fall in love with it. Now you go buy a couple jerseys, and now you're ready to go play in a club. And if you're here from Colorado Springs or Pueblo, now you're playing some teams from Denver that come down, and it's like every 2-3 weeks that an age group would play. But yeah, so here at Xfinity Arena, we're very lucky. We're busy with different tournaments, different age groups, different parents in the building, each and every weekend. So it's a lot of fun. And again, I'll keep saying it, but I'm just blessed. I'm very lucky to have the opportunities to do stuff like this. So get back to the game that was tremendous to me, and from the grassroots level, which I love, all the way up to, we also have YVU, Tour YVU travel program that'll go to all the big tournaments over the summers also. So you go from the learn to play all the way to that higher end that kids are more committed and want to do a little bit more. So I enjoy it all.
YVU is Yoderville University. That's your personal hockey program that you run. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. So sticking with the youth programs that you run now, tell me, what is your favorite memory, or maybe perhaps some success stories that stand out in your mind from kids that have come up through this program?
Well, I mean, the biggest one right now, and he's a pretty hot commodity, is Ethan Frank, who is supposedly the fastest. I think he beat Connor McDavid at the All-Star. I mean, he was in the American Hockey League, but with the speed skate, he grew up here. He grew up in a roller skating rink in Omaha, Nebraska. That is still a little bit a part of what we do. They'll send teams out for our Walt Frazier Invitational, which is our big event in June, and Ethan grew up here playing as an 8-year-old playing 12s because he was just that good. So that's a big one that grew up here. But we've had other guys. I mean, Patrick Maroon came out here. We did a little something and filmed things, and he was here for a weekend. I was under Pie a little bit, but there's been some kids that have gone to play Division I hockey, things of that nature. Maybe minor league professionally. That all started at Skate City, probably skated, in a learn to play or whatever it may be, and then all the way through our club, and then a little bit of travel, and then moved on from there. So again, a lot of that is moved on to a little bit of ice hockey, but they started with us. They learned to skate with us. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's great. Okay, so we see what the kids are getting out of this. They're learning a new sport. For some, they're getting to be able to build their skills and go on to bigger and better things. But what would you say that you get out of it the most from being a coach or a director of this program?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, just having the opportunity to give back. And I've had this opportunity. I mean, I've been able to go to Tokyo and do a camp and a clinic, for 5 days, and Hawaii several times. And so I've been able to do those things, and I've loved every second of it. But it's nice to have a home base, and people understand who you are, and it's not like, oh, it's just CJ Yoder coming in. That's a big deal anyway. But, CJ's coming in to run this 3-day camp, and then we don't see him again. Like, I get to touch these kids, not, their lives or whatever. For years. For years, they'll come in, they'll start to learn to play, and then all of a sudden I see them 3 years later, and they're playing club, and now they're out scoring goals against guys from Denver, type of thing. So just to be able to see that and have like a home base that I do here, it's key. That's key for me. My wife and I love it here in Colorado Springs, and we have 3 kids also, and 2 of them are playing and want to be here every weekend or every Tuesday afternoon or every Thursday night, So they have an opportunity to run around the rink here too. So it's just that home base and being able to see the growth of not just the sport, but each individual kid as they go also.
Well, let's keep it in the family here for just a minute. As you mentioned, you got 2 boys that are here in your program. As you mentioned earlier, you grew up in a rink, and that was something that your family did, and that was how you got your start. And now you're doing that for your kids. So take your coach hat off for just a second and put your dad hat on. What's it like seeing your boys get their start, and now your older one, he's playing ice hockey and starting to spread his wings a little bit? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, they both love it, and honestly, as a dad, that's all that you want. I think every time we get in the car, I'm like, "Hey, did you have fun today? Do you love it? And they do. Yeah, Dad, when are we going tomorrow? So that's the biggest thing. I always envisioned having a facility of some sort or being a part of a facility of some sort that my kids can grow up into. They basically run, the guys see them here, they basically run around like they own the joint, which I don't like so much, but that was me too. I remember doing that also. So, there's a lot worse places that they could be, that's for sure, than running around a hockey rink with other people that love hockey. It's like one big family here. Everybody knows who they are. I don't worry about them going outside or whatnot. They'll have some mom running around and be like, "No, Finley, inside here," so they know. So it's just a big family, and they get to be a great part of it. So again, that's something I envisioned for my kids, when I was going to have them, and now that it's around and it's here, I'm just living it up because it goes quick. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to take it in.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here real quick. So what would you say would be your proudest moment as a hockey dad so far with either Finn
or
Tave?
I'm always proud of them. So it's really hard and don't now get emotional. I'm an emotional person.
That's all right, man. Good. That's what we love about hockey, man. It's something that you're passionate about. It's something that touches your heart. It's something that's important to you. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting emotional about it. In fact, I kind of expect it.
So you're trying to
I'm trying to get the waterworks out of you there,
CJ. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
What movie is this? What is this, Jerry Maguire? Is that the guy that gets on there and smiles all the time or cries? I don't know. I'm always proud of them. Like just stupid little stuff where a goalie makes a save and Taven will go by and tap him and and tell him nice save, or pick a puck up for a referee. That's a big deal for me. And they both do it. Even Finley at 6, or 7. So, so it's all that little stuff that we talk about in the car, or I do as a hockey player, and then they catch it and they try and do it also. So I don't know. There's so many. I'm proud of them, and I'm glad that they love it. They were introduced to it numerous times. People are like, well, why don't they do something else? Why don't they do something else? And I'm a big believer in an all-around athlete. If they won, he won. I was a baseball player, not a great one, but I played a little bit of football and things of that nature, and I think that's a big deal. But my kids love the game, and they don't really want to do anything else, so I'm not going to tell them, no, they can't. They got to go run track or whatever, because it might make them a better hockey player. I am a big believer in that, but I'm also not going to discourage if that's what they want to do. So it's kind of underneath. I'm smiling because that's what they want to do. They want to play hockey, which is cool.
So we've talked a lot about. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can kind of comment on that too. I've played with Taven, and one thing that I was struck by, it's a testament to him as a player and you as a coach and a father, CJ. He plays the right way. He makes the pass that he should make, even if he's playing with a kid that he knows is probably going to miss the open shot down in the crease. He still passes it to him, and because that's the right hockey play to make. And, I mean, that's the cool thing to see in kids that young, that they're already thinking that way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. We do try. I try to instill that in even the guys during our rec leagues here. Obviously you got your guys that can wheel around and are a little better, especially at a rec league level. And I'm like, yeah, but is that the right play when you're playing at a level that everybody's the same as you? You can't get away with that. So I appreciate that, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, we try to teach them the right way, and not just my kids, all of them. So I'm proud of that.
So we've talked a lot about things here on the home front. Now let's go to the road. You take a travel team through YVU. Again, that's Yoderville University. And your most recent tournament, I think, was NARCH, Winter Nationals in California. So that just wrapped up, and it looks like the Temecula Warriors won. So congrats to that team. But we want to hear about your experience with your team. And I think you played in that tournament. Did you?
Yeah, big 40 and over win.
That's
Logan.
right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you didn't know about that?
Well, I mean, all I saw was the headline about the Warriors. But I mean, if I don't know about it, that means other people don't know about it. You got to tell us.
I thought it was on ESPN's bottom line there for a little bit. No, I thought, huge 40 and over win. I think that's my first gold medal in about 20 years, so I'll take it.
All right. Well, I wish I'd have known that. We should have had the hardware out here with the jersey. Next time, everybody. That's called a tease.
I think Mark Brandon took it home with him. I don't even know where the cup is, but. But yeah, no, we took, I think between my brother and I, so my brother's living in Hawaii and helping with a program out there. Now he's volunteering his time out there, and they kind of, a bunch of their players came and a bunch of kids from Colorado, and we kind of all came together. So we had like 11 teams that we were out there with, whether it was 2 40 and over teams, 2 adult teams, and then from 16 and under all the way down to a 6 and under team. We came together to do that. We ended up winning 5 of the divisions, gold championships. So that was good. It was a great event. Darren Goodwin is a guy that, good friend of mine and owns NARCH, and he always does a great job, and we always love it there in Irvine. It's like an outdoor rink. It actually used to be a Gretzky Center. Wayne Gretzky built like 6 or 7 of them in the 90s, and this was originally one of those. It's changed names numerous times now, but it's a little bit of an outdoor facility, just has a roof over top of it, but 3 rinks, and the environment's great. So everybody out there is tremendous. So it was a lot of fun, and we were successful. We did pretty well. So so that was that was the Winter Nationals, and then going into spring and summer, we'll do a lot more. So we'll be going to Midwest Wars in St. Louis, and then probably the Tours National event in Florida, another beautiful facility. So our kids that make the teams will go to 4 or 5 tournaments, 2 or 3 of them here at the arena, and then travel once or twice. Yeah, the YVU thing is also, we do some camps and clinics also, so it's not just a travel program. We're just trying to maybe give a little bit more instruction, for individual kids if they want it, for those kids that love it. So, and that's going well. Again, we're just ramping up now after that Winter Nationals. Going into the spring and the summer is really our travel program that'll get going. So all that information just came out. But again, just being able to work with those kids, and those are the higher end kids. They love it. They're pretty good players. You can do some more system things with them and whatnot. So the commitment, there's a little bit more commitment there with them. So I look forward to that too.
Definitely. So it's not your first rodeo. You've been to tournaments like Narch and State Wars and the Tour Nationals. And so tell me about some of the things that you look forward to the most. I mean, I'm sure you have lots of memories. You said the director of Narch. What are some names and faces that you look forward to? Okay, well then tell me about them. Tell me about all of them.
I know them all because they've all been tremendous for me personally, and if not for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So, Ron Bilstein and Joe own tours. The big event that we'll go to, the Nationals, we have the last 3-4 years. If not for Ronnie B, we call him the godfather of roller hockey. I think him and my dad played together, for a little bit or against each other years in the 70s, a long time ago. So, if not for him, I had an opportunity to play in Roller Hockey International, which was really probably the most legit pro league that it has ever been for Inline. And he gave me the opportunity to play. He was an assistant coach in St. Louis, Missouri. So if not for him, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And Timmy McManus, who owns State Wars, Midwest Wars is where we're going to St. Louis in April. I believe it's April. He owns State Wars, and he's just given me so many opportunities. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm the director of Colorado here, so I kind of put those teams together. That's its own separate event, but he's the owner of that, and then obviously Darren Goodwin owns Narch. So a lot of those big ones, those guys, they're just friends of mine, but they've been successful in the sport, which is really, really good to see. So we try to support as many of them as we can, like going to Winter Nationals for Darren, and then going to tours, nationals out in Florida, and then obviously with State Wars, here in Colorado, we'll probably take 10 to 14 teams at different age groups for Timmy then at State Wars too. And they all run great events. I mean, they've been doing it for years. That's what they do, so it's always fun to be a part of there. So if you're asking me what I look forward to just seeing all of us old guys, that kind of grew up together in this sport and are still in it. I could just go on and on. Rob Chernamut at La Beta and Chad Siebel at Tour Hockey and I are very close. There's so many. Hopefully we can get a couple of them on here at some point. But
would love that.
Yeah, for sure. And then guys that I played Team USA with for years that maybe some of them are still playing. Jerry Osterkamp. There's just so many that just to go and bump into them, and then they see my kids and and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a new group coming up. So. That's probably the biggest thing. I enjoy my travel for sure, but just being able to see those guys that for 15, 20 years we were either beating up on each other on the rink or playing with each other, and now we're sitting in the stands watching our kids, but can sit in the have an adult beverage together.
Nothing wrong with that. So your playing career is by no means over, but you're no longer traveling internationally. You're more prominently a coach and director of a program here. Did you ever see yourself when you started all this being a guy taking 14 teams to a tournament? Tell me a little bit about that, about how the evolution of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I still struggle, and yeah, I'm old, can't skate anymore. But
not true at all.
But
folks. He's very humble.
I still consider myself a player. It's hard, That's why I love the Thunder stuff right now, because it's still. The skill level is still there. It's still very, very competitive, and I still love to do that. So I appreciate that, but I also know, my days are pretty much over with that stuff. So I enjoy giving back. I do enjoy the coaching side of it 100%. What the kids get out of it, and then being successful and smiles on their faces, just like I had when a gold medal is put around their neck, and mom and dad are excited in the stands, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I guess growing up, I didn't really envision. I didn't know what I would be doing. I still didn't. I still don't. You know, but it's all worked out. Like I said, from my kids having the opportunity to run around one of the most beautiful facilities in the country, if you ask me, here at Xfinity Arena, to coaching kids that are just grassroots that just want to get a little exercise in it, or learn to play on a Sunday morning, all the way to trying to teach a power play to a 14-year-old, a group of 14-year-olds to go and try and win a gold medal in Wesley Chapel, Florida in June. You know, that all of that, it's all come together pretty well. So we're very happy where we're at, that's for sure.
Well, congrats on all your success and building up this program and all the success you're seeing on the road with the teams that you're traveling with. But I want to clarify something for the folks at home. This man is by no means retired, and I know he's a very humble individual, but you can see right now on Roller Planet, he's still got it very much. You can check out him play with the Colorado Springs Thunder on any of our live cast recordings that are on YouTube right now. That's this channel right here, Roller_Planet. Make sure that you like and subscribe on those videos. But now I want to turn back to Paiaha. You've got the playoffs coming up. You got your semi-pro match, not semi-pro, your semifinal matchup coming up against the Lakewood Fire, if I'm not mistaken, and then the winner of that will go on to the finals, I believe. No, wait,
it's the Blizzard.
Okay, you're going to play the Blizzard. Okay,
yeah.
well, excuse me, everybody.
Right.
So you're going to play the Blizzard in the semis, and then the winner of that is going to go on to, I believe, face the
Demon Dogs.
And
so they won it last year.
They won it last year.
Yeah, they're defending champions, and there are some really, really good hockey players on that team. Obviously, all the teams, but the Blizzard also. So yeah, we still have 2 more regular season games or sets. So we play double headers. So we play this weekend and next weekend, and then the first weekend of March. But everything's pretty set right now. So Demon Dogs will be 1. Demon Dogs will be 1. Thunder will be 2. Blizzard will be 3. And 2 plays 3 on a Saturday night, March 2nd, and we'll host here at the arena. And then whoever wins that has to travel to Parker in Denver and play the Demon Dogs to see who moves on to play in the finals that next weekend, also here at the arena. So yeah, we're still going through some stuff out here in the Rocky Mountains, but the places are set. So yes, you're correct. We will play the Blizzard in that first round, and then whoever wins has to go on and play the Dogs.
Going to be tough either way, I'm sure. So we are going to talk to the founder of Paiaha, Charles Yoder Sr., here in just a little bit. But before we do that, I want to ask you, what is it? Is there anything special or standing out about this season from seasons past?
I mean, the last couple seasons, just specifically for us, the Thunder guys, we struggled the last couple of years. We were pretty good for a while there, and then I got really old, and we got older. But everybody else just came into their own. I mean, Colorado has some really good hockey players. So, so that Demon Dogs team is all the way up and down a roster, very, very good. And I mean, the competitiveness here in the Rocky Mountains is better than it has been, for sure, just all the way up and down. Even the Fire that are going to end up 4th is a very good team, and they're young, so they will be for years. So that's just here in the Rockies. I don't know much about out east. I do know the Sting, who won 5 or 6 in a row up until last year, did win the East again. So Jay Muro will be bringing his boys out here for the finals for sure, and I know he loves the trip. And he's not happy about last year, so I'm sure they'll come ready to play no matter who it is out here. So that's kind of been a staple out east there for the last couple. They're very good. They traveled all the big events also, a lot of those guys. So that we'll see what happens out here. But the Dogs definitely are the team to beat out here, the Demon Dogs, and I feel like the Blizzard and ourselves have gotten a little bit closer, but I think both teams would have to play really well to have an opportunity to knock them off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just excited for the opportunity to, try and push my way through and see if I can get to another final and play here at the arena. That would be fun.
So, as you say, you have a couple of old dogs on the team. You may count yourself among them. But talk about some of the younger, up-and-coming talent, if you will. Maybe some of them are actually in their prime right now, but you still got a lot of young guys in the program. I mean, so there's still there's a big future ahead for this program. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, just for us personally, and actually all of our. So we have a pro division and we have a semi-pro division, and then we have a minor division also, all under Paiaha. And just for the Thunder, our organization here, we have 2 semi-pro teams, and we've never had the talent that we have on those teams. There's a lot of kids that grew up on inlines here at the arena in Colorado, and traveling, but that are now turning 16, 17, 18 years old. So the depth, and not just with us, but also with the fire organization up in Denver, and the Blizzard have a semi-pro team that is very, very good. It's just the depth of the sport here, and obviously that transitions into Paiha is much better. So we have on our pro team, we have some key guys. We picked up a Christian Perry who is just a phenomenal hockey player and went and played juniors a little bit. I think went and played a little bit of college ice hockey, but came back this year. Lucky enough to have him playing with us. So you mix a guy like him in, Colby Moyer, who is a rink hockey guy. I'm sure if you're following Roller Planet here, you're going to hear more of him. But sure you'll be sitting here with him at some point. And he works here with me at the arena. But is a phenomenal hockey player. Skates. I mean, he skates better than most of the guys that are out there. And he's a quad skater. I mean, his game is on traditional skates. But he can play. So, and is young, brings energy. He's a little bit of a head case at times, but I love him, so I can say that it's okay. But but again, that's just another young guy that just brings energy, and we need that. we definitely need that. We had some guys that can definitely still play the game. Derek Burnett played on Team USA for 5-6 years in a row, and was one of the best defensemen nationally or in the world, really, for years. I think he slowed down a little bit in playing more. I think he could still do it if he wanted to, but just life, gets in the way at times. So he doesn't play quite as much, but he's playing with us. Good friend of mine, Parker Harrison, has some of the best skill that I've ever seen, and I've played with some pretty good players. He's still playing. We're just older and can't get up and down the rink, and they'll tell you that also. But no, but it's fun, and there are some of those young guys now that are coming up and are going to push us out here pretty quick, I'm sure.
Well, it's good to hear all those names and lots of ones that we need to keep our eyes on from the years to come for the Paiha program and Thunder as a team. And you're right, we love Colby around here, and we will be talking to him next week when we do our first rink hockey episode here on the Roller Planet podcast. So stay tuned for that; it's going to be exciting. We have a lot of good highlights from Colby Moyer. We just recently did a trick shot video with him that was a lot of fun to shoot, and the guy's just got a ton of skills, and it's to me it's crazy to see a guy that skates the way he does on quads just put on the inlines and there's no transition at all. I myself recently coming back to skating after doing it a lot as a kid, and I think before I got my set of quads here, I hadn't put on a set of quads since I was like maybe 6 or 8 years old, and there's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see him basically make a seamless transition. I mean, he'll take one pair off and put the other on. It's like nothing at all. He's an incredible individual. So it's great to hear all those good things about a lot of that young talent with the Thunder team.
For sure.
Well, now to our next segment here in the first episode of the Roller Planet podcast. We're going to talk to the founder of the Professional Inline Hockey Association, Mr. Charles Yoder. He's not only the founder of Paiha, he was also a coach of Team USA, coach of the Tour Mudcats for a couple of years. I think you said 3 years. And he's currently he's part of the coaching staff here with the Colorado Springs Thunder. So welcome, Charlie.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you here. So first we want to talk about...
Hey, Dad.
That is the father of the great CJ Yoder. You are you're where it started. You're the founder of Paiha. You're obviously the founder of Mr. CJ here and the Yoder legacy and the world of inline hockey. So I think we're just going to start things at the beginning. So tell us about what it was like, several, I suppose, decades ago when you owned a rink over on the East Coast and you had your kids skating around, and then before they all launched their professional careers.
Well, my parents they owned a roller skating rink before I was born. So I grew up a rink rat and been in roller skating all my life. We always played hockey. My father had a hockey league that he ran back in the 40s. So it's kind of in the blood. I am far from being the father of roller hockey, that's for sure, but I appreciate what you say. And, the Yoder family did start the Paiha. We are now in our 23rd year, I guess, something like that. And, we are looking forward to our finals here very shortly here at Xfinity.
Well, tell me a little bit about what inspired you to bring professional inline hockey to the forefront here. What made you want to start a league?
Well, the bottom line to it was there used to be the RHI, which was a professional roller hockey league that people might remember. They were, big time. They were on ESPN, the whole 9 yards. CJ and Jamie both got to play in that league. That folded, and when that folded, we basically looked at it and said, we'd like to somehow be able to have a carrot for kids to be able to look up to be able to keep playing inline hockey. And that's basically what got us started, thinking that what can we do for the sport of inline hockey?
Well, that is excellent. So tell us a little bit about where things started and where they are now. What was the league like 20 years ago compared to what it's like now in 2024?
Well, I think in year one, I think we had 8 teams. I think we had 4 and 4, like 2 levels, maybe not, maybe only 4. It's been a long time. But it all started on the East Coast, needless to say. What we basically did was the Tour Mudcats was one of the premier teams of inline hockey at that time. And all the players were basically from the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. So we came back home and said, what can we do? And we took the team and divided everybody up. And we said, you two are playing with this team, you two are in that team. And then we added players from the area and we got our teams together. And that's how we started this whole thing. So from that, what did we have this year? We had close to 50 teams this year that are playing in the league. It, needless to say, is growing and it's continuous to grows. And I think our growth this next year is going to be even more than what we have this year. That's for sure.
Well, tell us a little bit more about some of your. What would you say is the most? What would you say that you're most proud of in seeing the league grow from 8 teams to 50 teams over the course of all that time?
Just that we're still here, to be truthful. I mean, needless to say, CJ and I spent a lot of time just trying to get it off the ground. And, there was plenty of times that first year or two that we probably looked at each other and said, what the heck are we doing? But just to try keeping it going, just to be able to say that you started something and you're able to keep it going and build it over 23 years is, pretty cool.
That's really cool. Dad, wasn't it we that very first year was everybody got a piece of the pie, right? But
Yep,
so
that's right.
they'd pay to get in, the people would pay to get in to watch the games, and then like the owners would get $1.50 of every $7 or something like that. So as an owner of the professional team, you'd walk away with $16 at a home game or something, right? And the players ended up splitting between 12 of us, $1.75 or something. But so we kind of moved away from that, but it was pretty cool. You've done a tremendous job. It's been really good.
And, and it's not just me, trust me. Okay. I mean, there are so many people I can think of that have helped in making this work and basically supported not just me, but the whole league. That's for sure over the years, or it wouldn't be here.
For sure. So true.
Well, tell me a little bit about what it's like now seeing your son sort of in the driver's seat of this league. You by no means are, out of the picture at all. You're still right here helping run things. I mean, you're here in the rink, every week with the youth program, and then of course you're still a coach, part of the coaching staff for the Thunder. But what's it like seeing your son and where he's risen to, and seeing the leadership role that he's taken in this program and in the sport overall?
Well, since day one, CJ's been the face of this. That's all that's to it. Everything that he has done, what he's accomplished is just amazing. I'm so proud of him. And he continues to be able to stay with this. I think about it and I think somebody said, what the heck did I get myself into? Which I believe was you yesterday when you said that to me. There's plenty of times I know that I thought about that. And I'm sure that there's plenty of times that CJ has thought about that. But, he is the face of the league. And he's going to continue to. And I know that the league is, I really don't have to worry about it when I am done, when I do step down and not around anymore. I know it's in good hands because he's been there since day one. And what a driving force. There's no doubt about it.
I tried, Dad. I learned from the best. And I could do a lot more. He is definitely not out of it, Logan. That's all. I mean, he does. Pops, you do most of it. So besides, obviously you didn't name names, but Anthony Flynn and Dennis Jelsic and Jay Muro and all those guys out east to keep. I mean, that's a main portion of the league right now. The East Coast, and those guys keep that running with my dad's help. So without those guys, and they support the league, but they support us as a family too, which is it's really cool. It's really cool.
So a lot of moments over the years and things to be proud of, a lot of memorable times. Real quick, I want to flip that around and do the dad thing. So, Charlie, tell us an embarrassing story about CJ. Surely, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect players. None of us are perfect people. So, give us a good story about CJ here.
Thanks, Lo.
Yeah, you're throwing him under the bus.
There are none, Dad. Don't worry about it. Just say there are none.
No, that's difficult. That really is difficult. I mean, I can tell you a lot of stuff about me that's embarrassing. That's, an embarrassing time for CJ.
Well, I'll reference one. I heard it might have been last season, or perhaps the season before that, where CJ got suspended. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, that's As now, how do you want me to talk? As a father, or as the league president, or
both? But let's start out as a dad.
as dad, okay. As dad, I have to say that I got a big kick out of it, because I don't think CJ's never gotten thrown out of out of any game, as far as I know. Okay, that I can remember, that's for sure. He is the type of guy that, needless to say, a goalie makes a save and he goes up and taps him on the pads and says, "Good job." If a pass is made and he screws it up, he goes back to the other guy and says, "Hey, sorry, my bad." Okay, that sort of thing. So as a dad, it was kind of funny to see that happen. Needless to say, as the person that's running the league at that point, it was like, oh my gosh, okay, so how do I handle this? Okay, type of thing, without it looking bad for the league. So, it wasn't embarrassing. I think he was at that point. I understand the reasoning behind it. Okay, he served. We did what we had to do from a league standpoint. Yeah, he served his time. Okay, which he was supposed to do. But like I said, as a father, it was kind of funny to me that after all these years that he, somebody finally kicks him out, out of the game or whatever. But anyway, that you're right. That probably is one of those times.
Well, so you're not only the founder of Paiha and been running the organization for 20 years. You're also a former coach of Team USA and a coach of the Tour Mudcats. Give us a little bit of an insight into what it was like, especially for Team USA.
Well, first of all, I can tell you that if you would have asked me what is my proudest moment instead of most embarrassing moment, I will tell you that without a doubt, with Team USA, the most proudest time was when I got to stand there during the national anthem with both my boys. Being able to coach Team USA and have the two of them playing that was awesome, off the board from that standpoint. So that would be the big thing. Team USA, you're talking about the greatest players in the world. I opened the door up, is what I did. Really, to be truthful with you, it was more of a, it's not encouragement. It's not, ESPN's calling me. Okay. It was more just, telling those guys to be themselves. Okay. To be creative, and just kind of watch over, make sure that everybody was ready to go. There's not a whole lot of coaching that gets done at that point, I don't think. They are great players and they know what the heck they're doing. I sure as heck, I was never the player that CJ is or Jamie. And bottom line is that, there's no sense me trying to explain something to them at that point, because they've seen it all and done it all. And it was just an honor to be able to coach both the Tour Mudcats and Team USA.
Well, for a person that's been around the sport for as long as you have, talk about some of the changes that you've seen over the years. How has the game evolved, both from an actual game standpoint, the makeup of the game, to sort of where we're seeing, what trajectory we're kind of seeing with these players now?
Okay, well, I can tell you a couple things. First of all, I know that when I played as a kid, okay, we played basically ice hockey on a pair of roller skates. We wore all the equipment ice hockey wore. We played offsides. We played full body contact checking, the whole 9 yards. So it's evolved a big time from there. That's for sure. I can, I would have to say that what we have right now, there's some, um, everybody's going to get a joke out of this. There's some things that I think can be changed. Okay. Um, it's a joke because every year when we get together with PIHA, um, the first thing they say is, okay, Charlie, what kind of rules do you want to change for next year? Because I'm always in the mode of, I think we can do better. Okay. Type of thing for the sport. And that the people, the players are just so much better. The equipment is better, but the players are better. I can remember CJ saying to me one time, he was watching some 8-year-olds at Narcs or Tours or State Wars or somewhere, and I'm sitting next to him, and he said that little kid just did a toe drag. He said, I didn't do toe drags until I was 15. So the sport itself is just getting so much better. The players are getting better. And that's, again, some of it has to do with the equipment. I mean, when I played back in the day, we used wood sticks that probably weighed 20 pounds, it seemed like, okay, towards what they say. So some of that has helped, but, the sport is just, as far as I'm concerned, just really getting so the kids are getting so good. They're getting so good at an early age that it's just exciting to wait and see what it's going to be like. PIHA, as an example, when we started, I mean, I think about the best team that we had in PIHA the first 4 or 5 years, and they were just so much better than everybody else, and they wouldn't hold a candle to what we have now.
No, we wouldn't. We would have got killed. We
Yeah,
would get killed
I
right now.
mean, it's just so much. I mean, what was it, the York Typhoon? Okay,
Yeah.
was the first couple of years, and CJ ran that team down there in Pennsylvania, and they were good. They were better than anybody in the league. Okay, but you put them in that same team in the league today, and yeah, they wouldn't hold a candle to any of our pro teams.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks. Truth
No
hurts.
problem.
The truth hurts.
Well, I asked CJ this question earlier, and I want to ask you now. You now have grandkids that are part of the this up and coming generation of very talented hockey players. Tell me a little bit about the pride that you feel from going basically in the shoes that they were in now as a kid at the rink playing hockey, to coach, to now a grandfather watching your kids do the same thing.
What can you say about being a grandparent? Okay, you get all the benefits, okay, of being able to do that, but not have to discipline, not have to take care of, okay, on a regular basis, that sort of thing. But the grandkids, it's just so much fun to watch. It's amazing that you think back to when CJ and Jamie were their ages, and we would take them to roller hockey and ice hockey, and my grandkids are fortunate enough that CJ's running the rink, and they get to be here, and they get to be rink rats just like I was, just like he was. Okay. And, there's, I tell people all the time, I wouldn't change anything in my life. I'm very happy with the way things were. And, people say, well, you grew up as a rink rat, you missed so many things at school and at this and that. And I said, no, they missed all that stuff that was at the rink. So being at the rink is where I've always been and where I love to be.
Well, that's great to hear. Real quick, last question from me, and then CJ, if you got anything, please feel free to jump in. But do you have any hopes for this game in terms of, do you have any specific things that you'd like to see in the future, and perhaps some new ways you'd like to see this game or even PIHA itself evolve?
I think we've all been through that whole thing. Sure, it hurts it hurts when you look at some of the sports that are playing in the Olympics, okay, and I guess we always go back to that. Um, we would love to have roller hockey, inline hockey in the Olympics. The talent that we have, I would just love to be able to have the talent that we have be seen. Um, you know, there's so many people out there that they enjoy ice hockey, they watch ice hockey, they enjoy other sports, and we just have some talented people that are not being noticed, okay, not being so somehow, and this is part of it, and I appreciate what you guys do. There's no doubt. Some of it is just trying to get us out there, okay, to be able to do that. But being in the Olympics would be awesome. I, you know, I know that was always a dream when we were with Team USA and all those players, and I know it's always been a dream for CJ, okay, type of thing. But we've talked about that for years and years, and as a sport, I think we have to become more we have to become more organized so that we can have that chance to be able to get there.
Well, that definitely sounds like a quite a goal to shoot for, to be on the biggest world stage, and that is why we're here, to put the spotlight on the sport and all the great talent that we see among inline hockey players, and really roller skating in general. CJ, you got anything to add for your dad?
No, Pops, just thanks for being on. Obviously love you, and you've been tremendous. And we'll just keep building. We'll keep going. I got one for you. What crazy ideas do you have for next year, Paya? What new rule are we doing next year? Something to slow the game down so I can play again.
There you go. I do think that from that standpoint, there has to be something, I think, that we have to take a look at to be able to, you say slow it down. I think shorten the area to make it a little bit more presentable for TV. Okay, if we want to try getting out there and or video, let's put it that way. So something has to be done from that standpoint. I can tell you from Pihot standpoint, we call ourselves a professional league, and I think we have to start trying to get ourselves to the point that a person can look at this and say, hey, it's something that I might be able to have as a part-time job down the road, okay, and not just a league that you're just playing other teams from other states and that sort of thing. So, and I think you know what I'm talking about, but at this point, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So that's probably where we're at. We need to change some rules to get to I hate to say it that way, to speed up the game, okay, but to make the game more condensed, okay, is the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Breaking news here on the podcast. Love that. Love that.
Yeah, we didn't let the cat out of the bag. We don't even know what he's talking about.
Can't wait to see what he has in store. Well, Charlie, I think that's all we have for you today. Appreciate you joining us, and we can't wait to get you back on here after the finals. Hopefully the Thunder make it all the way, and we get to see them, see this one all the way through. But either way, we'd love to talk to you again soon on our one of our upcoming episodes when we come back to Inline Hockey. Thanks again for joining us, Charlie.
Thanks for having me. See, love you, buddy.
Love you too, Bob.
Yeah, I remember watching those RHI games when I was probably late high school, would have been about right. And that's the one, they had the ball in the slanted corners, right? Or was that something else?
That was Pro Beach hockey. A lot of fun, by the way.
But
that was a lot of fun.
I wanted to ask you about that, about the Pro Beach Hockey League, because I feel like we've got a new generation of skaters now, much, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but much more interest in the sport, much broader audience. But I don't think most of these kids maybe have never heard of Pro Beach Hockey. Tell me a little bit about that with the ramps and the 2-point goals, and tell me a little about the old days there, Siege.
Yeah, Pro Beach Hockey, that was a lot of fun. I think it only went for 3 years, and us, the Mudcats, obviously we were kind of a big deal back then. We were playing pretty well, and we were young, 20, 21, 22, I think. And we had an opportunity to go play, and it was so basically it was on ESPN, right on the beach, Huntington Beach, right on the beach, and they paid for hotel rooms Friday night and Saturday night, and you played 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and if you won, you made an extra $50 or something like that. Luckily, we had a good friend that was living in San Diego, so we would. it was like 4 weeks of what a great time. Like some stories I could tell you, but I can't tell you.
It's a family show. It's a family show.
But yeah, I mean, we would drive down to San Diego on Sunday after our last game and be there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Drive back up, get in our hotel. Everybody goes out that's playing that next day and goes out Friday. Play our 2 games Friday, suck it up, and we were young then. You know what I mean? Have a good time Saturday. Play our 2 games on Saturday or on Sunday, and then drive back down to San Diego. So for 4 weeks, that's all we did. And I mean, it was my brother, myself. It was like 7 of us really, really good friends that have traveled all over the country playing for the Mudcats, and now we're out in Southern California with a good buddy, all crashing in a studio apartment in San Diego, but we just wake up and go sit by the pool for, all of Monday, all of Tuesday or whatever. And we ended up winning that. And there was good money at the end of it. So I think it was basically for 4 weeks. I lived in Southern California where I never could afford it to be able to do that. Played hockey on ESPN, with a lot going on around us. That was a lot of fun. That was 4 weeks of the best time of my life for sure. That was a lot of fun.
So you had ramps up behind the goals, right?
Correct.
Because I remember seeing this on ESPN or on TV when I was a kid. I mean, it was a long time ago. Let's just say that.
Yes.
So do you think we need to bring the ramps back? Or
no, we do not need to bring the. I like the ramps though because you weren't allowed to hit on the ramp. So I'm like, what? I'm gonna hang up on here a little bit, But I wasn't a good enough skater to really get up on the ramp. So. No, it was a lot. There were some really, really good hockey players too there. So I think it went for 5 weeks. In the first week, ESPN came out with all our production people and everything else and their cameras, and it was played on ice court. And ice court has little nipples kind of on top of the floor for less friction.
Yeah.
Like less friction, I think.
Oh.
But with the sun. There was glare on the cameras, so they sandblasted all those little nipples off. So it was really hard to skate. It wasn't, it was really hard to skate on. So when you watch it, you're probably like, geez, CJ, you guys were horrible. You know what I mean? But there were some really good hockey players. And again, guys I grew up with playing against or playing with, all on different teams. And I met Cuba Gooding Jr. that, while we were out there because he was one of a friend of mine, played in Team USA with me. Chris Nelson and him were really good buddies. They both living in Hollywood, and I don't know what Chris does now as an agent or something there, but they were good friends. So he got on one of the benches, and took his shirt off. Of course he did. Why wouldn't you? But a really good guy. And Chris Chelios' brother, Steve, I believe, played on salsa, and he would take off all of his gear and between games go and just throw horseshoes on the beach and then come right back on, put all his gear on and go right back out and play again. Like, just the environment was really, really fun. That was a lot of fun. I remember coming home from that and being at a restaurant bar till a little later at night, and it was on TV at like 1:30 in the morning on the East Coast, and some guy comes into the bathroom, and he's like, hey, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. What did I do? You know what I mean? I don't get in a fight in a bathroom bar, in a bathroom. He's like, is that you up on TV up there right now? It's like, yeah, prime time, 2 o'clock in the morning, CJ's on the TV. But I'll never forget it because I thought I was getting beat up there for a second. He's like, hey, so that was funny. But it was really good. It was really good.
Well, what do you say? Should we bring back a special weekend of beach hockey league and throw some ramps up there and let these kids get a taste of that sport, or should we leave it in the past?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was made for TV a little bit, but if you're on ESPN, you do whatever you have to do, to get on that program. So, it was good time of my life for sure.
Okay.
What about the 2-point shot? Has that ever been thought about? That seems like it might have some efficacy to come back into the game anywhere.
I think we've tried some different. My father, of course, has tried some different things with some different roles, and we put a 2-point actually here at the arena years ago. And we.
So what does that look like? I don't remember the specifics exactly. Is
it's
that
like a 3-point line.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of went from basically the goal line and the boards up a little bit. I don't know how far out it was or whatever, but I can tell you a little side note stat of the day. Jamie Yoder was the league leader in 2-point shots the year we were there. So He's just firing balls from everywhere. I think he just didn't want to skate too far after being out Friday nights. Just shoot the ball from anywhere. But,
Understandable.
Yeah, but I think he led the league that year that we were there. So
well, we've got to get Jamie on the podcast here in one of our upcoming episodes and hear some of the stories that he has about you and about playing in the Beach Hockey League, as well as playing on Team USA for your dad and all those other memories that you guys share together. We'd love to get you both on here, whether it's over the Zoom or maybe perhaps in building. We'll see.
at some point.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm good. I mean, the RHI, I know, Chris, you brought that up that you remembered watching it, but that was on ESPN also, and that was a legit pro league. Like, I got the opportunity to play in some facilities that I wasn't as good of a ice hockey play in some facilities that I wasn't as good of a ice hockey player. So, but we were playing in the Forum in LA, and we're playing. Our home rink was called the Kiel Center then. I don't know what it is now, Scott Trade or something in St. Louis, but that was our home rink, So, so we would walk across the street and be in there at 9 o'clock in the morning and skate for 45 minutes, and just tool around in this beautiful St. Louis Blues home facility. So places that the Spectrum in Philly, which was cool for me because that's when I grew up watching the Flyers and being around there. So I got to play in some places that I normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to. And we flew everywhere, and we didn't touch our stuff. Like, we would morning skate in the morning in St. Louis and then have to play at the pond in Anaheim that next night. And we'd hang our stuff and let it dry, and then we'd get to Anaheim and our stuff's there, all cleaned and laid out. And like, there were some guys that that played in the American Hockey League, not the NHL, but in the American Hockey League, like, we don't even get treated this well, some really good high-end ice hockey players that are like, this is pretty amazing. So that Roller Hockey International was probably the premier professional league, that there was. And that's why when it went away, that's Dad and I kind of sat in our little roller skating rink office and is like, hey, what do we do here? How can we, like he said, like, how do we keep that carrot there for those guys? And, so that's been around 23 years with PIHA. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we want, for the folks watching today, we want to hear from you. If you have anything that you want to know about PIHA or inline hockey in general or any of the leagues, things that we mentioned in today's episode, go ahead and submit a question in the comment section of the video below, and we'll get those answered in our next episode. We'll pick out a number of them and answer those on our next episode for when we cover inline hockey again. A couple of news items here. Right now, this weekend, we've got the U.S. Roller Cup that actually starts today. That's going to be in Snellville, Georgia. I want to say good luck to all those athletes playing in that tournament this weekend. $9,000 on the line for the top team for them in the pro division. And I just found out that they actually just recently added an 18U division to that tournament. So things are growing across the sport and a number of organizations here. That's great to see. A couple other items happening here on Roller Planet. Again, as we mentioned, we've got the PIHA Finals going to be happening the weekend starting March 8th on a Friday. Games 1 and 2, games 3 and 4 happening the following Saturday on the 9th. Any other games that are needed are going to be that Sunday morning. All of that free to watch here on Roller Planet. That will be the PIHA Finals happening starting on March 8th. And then tomorrow night, Roller Derby returns to the Xfinity Arena here in Colorado Springs and here on Roller Planet. Now, these events are very popular and often sell out, so if you can't get tickets or if you can't attend anyway, be sure to watch here on Roller Planet. We will be streaming live. That starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You can always watch for free. The ladies do a great job. We love having them here in the building, and it's a great crowd. It's a great vibe, and it's a great show. So great. We're really excited to see the return of the Pikes Peak Derby Dames for their first match of the 2024 season. And then the following night, we've got rink hockey here at the Xfinity Arena and on Roller Planet. That's going to be the Battle of Colorado. It's sort of an all-star game of sorts. We got the best players from the Denver metro area making the trip up to Colorado Springs. That's right, I said up because we're higher than Denver, ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to be taking on the best of the Pikes Peak region. It's going to be a one-game winner-take-all. They're taking on, bragging rights, but it's winner-take-all, and that's going to be starting at 6:30 Mountain Time. Again, free to watch here on Roller Planet. So out for CJ and for Chris over in our director chair, I want to say thank you to everybody out there who watched the first inaugural episode here of the Roller Planet podcast. This is Roller Planet. For Roller Planet and CJ and Chris Johnson, this is Logan signing off. But remember, the wheels never stop turning, and neither do we. So stay tuned for next week's episode. And until then, keep on rolling.